Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another video at my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be using some products from the September 2023 card kit from Simon Says Stamp. Now this is the stamp set that comes in the kit. It's called Be Happy. I'm actually not going to be using that stamp set today, but I have a video coming on Thursday at the Simon YouTube channel and also here at my channel, so come back for that. Today I'm going to be using those layered stencils I just showed you, but there's also this crisscross floral embossing folder, which will be in that video on Thursday. Today we're focusing on the stencils, and I'm going to start out by completely blending yellow onto this piece of cardstock. This is the color Duckling from Simon, and this is one of their older original ink pads. Now, I think I've had this ink pad. Gosh, I've never replaced it. I've never re-inked it. It's still going strong. It's amazing how these ink pads are still going. But I wanted to have a really pale yellow cardstock. Since I didn't have one, I decided to just make my own by blending that color on. So now this is the Retro Flowers layered stencil set that comes in the kit. And I'm going to be creating 2 cards with this today. Truth be told, this card was actually going to be another card in my video for Thursday. But as I started playing with these stencils, I loved them so much. I ended up making 2 of the same card design and decided to split it out into a separate video. So that's why you're going to get 2 card kit videos this week, because this set of stenciled cards was just too fun and I didn't want to have it get lost in the shuffle in the other video. So now I'm using the Sunshine ink pad from Simon. It's a nice yellow, but it's more on the tone kind of golden yellow kind of range. And that's why I wanted it for these sunflowers. I didn't want it to be a super, super bright yellow. The design of this layered stencil set is very like 1970s retro vibe. So I'm going for more of those toned colors. So I blended that on, and then I'm going to remove it. And the thing that's really great about these layering stencils is that there is an etched line on the stencil that is the exact size of an A2 card front. So I'm lining up each layer on the back of the stencil just with some EZC tape to hold it in place, and then the placement is perfect. So I'm going to use Olive ink, which I think is actually discontinued. I really should pull it from my stash. I keep using it and not realizing that it's discontinued until later. But there is a similar ink color from Hero Arts called Soft Olive. I think it's just not quite as dark, but that is a similar shade if you're looking for a green that's similar to this. All right, so I'll peel that up. So beautiful. I love how this image kind of nestles into each other. The third layer are some small flowers. So I'll line that up on the back of the stencil and then flip it over. And I'm going to use burnt orange ink for this. Another one of those original inks from Simon. These colors are so beautiful, and I can't believe, these are the original ink pads. I think I've only ever had to replace one of these ink pads, and it was Doll Pink, that magenta pink. And I used it over and over and over, and no wonder I ran out. But all of my other ink pads are the original ink pads, which is amazing that they're so juicy after so many years. The last layer is the center for the flowers. So I'm going to put my project on the back of that stencil, flip it over, and then I'm going to use dark chocolate ink. And I'm going to use this color for all of the centers of the flowers, both the sunflowers and the smaller flowers. So I'm blending right over that entire area and making sure I get all of the openings. So at this point, I thought, this is looking awesome. I want to maybe change it up and try a different color scheme. So after I had finished this complete blending of the layered stencils, I decided to change it up. And I'm going to try to do this with more of a pink and orange color scheme. I thought that would look really, really nice. So I'm going to set this background aside. And now I've got Rosy Cheeks ink from Simon. And I'm once again going to blend this over the entire surface of this cardstock. Just like the first background, this one is A2 sized. So it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm running this pink all the way over because I didn't really have this really toned pink color of cardstock. And I didn't have that yellow either, so I'll just make my own. I temporarily taped this background to the stencil, and then I came in with that same Sunshine ink. And even when blended right on top of the pink that's already there, the color really does come through. I was really, really surprised. I thought it might kind of tint that yellow a little bit, but it looks great. So the second layer is the leaves. So I placed those on my project, and then I came in with that same color. So at this point, the only color change is the background, just a pink background. But going into the smaller flowers, I'm going to change it up and move to another pink shade. I'm going to use Teeny Bikini, such a fun name, and I'll blend that in over all of the flowers. I think you could even do a different color of flowers at the top and also at the bottom, or change up each individual flower color. You can really make this design your own. So I'll lift up that stencil, and then the last thing is the center of the flower. So for this one, I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to use the dark chocolate color that I used on the first background. I'm going to use it for the center of these sunflowers or daisies, whatever you want them to be. And then for the centers of the pink flowers, I'm using burnt orange. So really, I used the same colors as the first card. I just swapped out the small flower main colors and the background. I just put in some pink shades. So here's what that one looks like, and I think it looks fantastic with those additional colors. So I then adhered both of these backgrounds to some prepared card fronts. Just use some Tombow Extreme adhesive and then place the backgrounds directly on top and press those down really well. So I was trying to figure out what greeting do I want on top of this. I didn't want anything that was going to cover up the design very much. So I grabbed one of my favorite old standbys. This is the Reverse Misuse Sentiment Strips from Simon. I mean, you can see how much I've used these. It's my most used sentiment strips package. In fact, I think I have 3 sets of them in that storage pocket because I love them so much. So I cut these out. I just use an X-Acto knife and a T-square ruler, and then I split them into 2 lines so that I could adhere them and have them not take up all one big line. I put some narrow foam adhesive from Waffle Flower behind each one, and then I took a black brush tip marker and I painted the edges of this cardstock. It's going to make it look like it's black cardstock with white writing instead of, white sentiment strips that were printed in black. So I placed those onto the front of my cards, a little bit of it at an angle on each, a little more playful, and that finishes both of these cards. These came together super fast and easy. It would be so fun to do a bunch of these and maybe give them as a gift, as a whole set to someone. And maybe don't even adhere the greetings, just have the foam strips on the back and then let the recipient put whatever greeting on that they need. Thanks so much for watching today. You can check out some of these videos on screen, click over, see some other inspiration. All of the supplies I've used today, including that card kit, if you want to get those other, the stamp set and the embossing folder, everything's listed down below in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in another video very soon.